Welcome to Subcreation. I'm Nathan, I'm an artist and a designer, and this channel is about creative process. Tonight I'm going to be continuing work on the native app for Artbreeder, which we started last week. I'm working on creating an icon for it, as well as some UX flows, so you can get a sense of how the app will function. And then last week I didn't get around to actually creating getting into the code itself, but I'm hoping to actually do a little bit of programming this week. We'll see how that goes. It's very risky to attempt to code on stream, but I'm going to give it a shot. Kind of want to set your expectations low, and one of the things to keep in mind when you're programming is it's always going to do something a little bit different than when you expect. You'll have some idea what you're trying to do, and you'll write some code, and there's always a little bit of a gap between what you're trying to make and what happens initially. And so it's really about trying to maintain a mentality of staying curious and not getting discouraged. So it's a little harder to do on stream. I've done this in the past. If you start getting a lot of errors on stream, it can be a little challenging, more so than other creative activities you can do on stream. But we're going to give it a shot. So really quick before here, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the view of my Mac. But one thing I need to get done here, I'm going to go ahead and start the music, so you can listen to that. But I'm trying to figure out, they've made some changes to Twitch. If anybody knows how to get the chat window to pop out, I have it appearing here. I'll just do a quick search and see if I can find that. So this is Artbreeder here. Let me do a quick search. How to pop out the chat on Twitch. Used to be really easy, but now you can't. Yep, somebody's having exactly the issue I'm having, because they wrote, used to be able to do this, and it doesn't work now. Edit. The new Twitch beta does not have the option. Just go to the top right of the screen and click on your profile. You'll see an option saying beta site. Disable that. Okay. So the beta site is bad. So it says go to your options here. It says where it says go to, click on your profile. You'll see an option saying beta site. So I just clicked on my profile. On profile, I don't see an option. I don't see an option to disable the beta site. Okay. Oh, somebody says you can just add it to the URL, so I'm going to give that a shot. Go back, and they say you can just type /chat on the URL. And it looks like I'm in business. All right, there we go. Very good. So anyway, if you want to say hi, I can see your comments now. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to go back over here. So when we get into the coding part, you'll see this whole finding information. I'm sure everyone uses search online to find information already, so you have a bit of an idea how to do this. But like what I did just now, trying to figure out how to fix this problem, pretty much programming is essentially the same set of challenges that you'll be trying to do something. You'll have an idea of how you want it to work. If you go into the tool and just try to do it yourself, you kind of have not a lot of information at your disposal. But if you do a search online for how to do it, you'll find somebody who has had a similar problem, and you'll see them talking about how they solved it. So it's pretty much the same idea. The way you solve technical like IT problems on your computer, it's very similar to how you would get code working on your computer. At least that's how I usually do it. Okay, so this is Artbreeder, and this is the trending view, which is what I have the ability to get. So that's what I can pull this I can pull this with the code that I have, but I'm going to start actually with hard-coded values, and so I'll just sort of recreate this using code that I create myself. I mean, just manually writing it in and putting the content in. So yeah. Hold on one sec. I'm going to put this on pause for just a minute to just check something. I'll be right back. Let's see. I've got be right back string. All right, I'm back. So this is Art Readers, I was saying. This is the view that I'm going to be working on creating. And let's see, so what I was going to do. So this is the icon, the app I'm using to create the icon view. And these are the sketches that I've started with. The concept I'm working with is dog flower, which is sort of a concept. Let's see, it's kind of a popular thing on here. If we go sort of an iconic thing, we pull up. We go to my profile. I can search for dog flower here. Oops. I go down and click on dog flower anyway. I mean, dog flower. So this is one instance of dog flower, and if you go into the history of it, you can see some of the background of the different dog flowers that have existed, that have come before. And so that's essentially what I'm working on. So I'm trying to create a dog flower. So these are the concepts. I started out with drawing it in more detail, and then I refined it down to these options. I think this one here probably most closely resembles the dog flower that is known on Art Reader, and then I have this simplified concept. So I'm starting with the minimalist concept first, developing that. And so we have, this is one instance of dog flower. It seems to. And then here's another variation on that concept, just trying different numbers of petals. And this is probably the most involved version of that. And it's all basically coming from, I obviously am having inspiration from the photos icon. And then I have a number of images that I think are good examples. These are all apples icons here, and I've collected these ones. So essentially the main principle to take away from this about how to do a creative project like this is that you start by gathering things. When you have two different ideas and you put them together, like even the concept of dog flower, a dog is one thing, a flower is another thing. You put a dog and a flower together. Oh, hey, I see I have a comment from Commander Ransom. Yes, that is dog flower. That's him, all right. Yep. So that's dog flower, and I'm developing it further. What I thought I would do is try maybe some more petal-like shapes. So you can see I went a little bit closer to sort of a petal-type shape there. But I want to try some different sort of petal shapes. So that's essentially what I'm going to do. We're not going to spend probably as long on this as we did last time, but I do want to do it a bit, spend a little bit of time on it. All right, let's see if that goes to there. So I was thinking a flower petal kind of has more of like this kind of shape. So I'm trying to do that. So I'm trying to just make it a bit more like a flower. And this is a little uneven, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to fix it up. So these guides are mostly for, this is the classic Apple guides that they use for icons, because these concentric circles make for good sort of consistency between different, when they appear in tiles on your phone, you want them to kind of line up. That seems a little weird. I'm not worried too much about getting it totally perfect, because I'm still kind of idea phase. I think if one principle to keep in mind in design is that you don't necessarily want to overinvest in an idea before you've really explored the space, the other possibilities. So you don't want to, if you get bogged down in one concept, you get more invested in it, which is bad, which makes it harder to move on or try different things later on, or to realize if an idea isn't working out if you spend too much time on it. And so yeah, that's why I'm trying to keep going. I'm gonna go ahead and swap that so we can see it as a filled out thing. And then what's the other thing to do? I'm going to, not sure why there should be a frame right there. I'm gonna delete that. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing or the process or any ideas, go ahead and jump in there on the chat. Be happy to answer. Let's see, so this one, there we go. Okay. You think we go ahead and move that in like that. You know, I think maybe this shouldn't be so flat in the middle. I'm gonna try, let me try this. Delete these points. Ooh, didn't do that. Huh, that doesn't work so well when I delete. I didn't realize that they have to be closed. And they do. Okay, well, it's good. I'm learning things about the tool. I'm gonna delete that one there. Same thing's gonna happen, but I can just close it up, I think, like this. Yep. So you can see this is off because it should be centered more. I'm gonna go ahead and try just centering this all together. Huh. Nope. This looks off. So I'm gonna bring this in because I think that's what is off. right, well, I think that's close enough. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it when I'm still feeling it out. The idea would be to take this, and then I can flip it around. And then group those. Let's see. Take that and that. And we'll see how this works. Alright, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to take that and do the same thing I did with the other ones, where I'm going to make it a white background. And then I'm going to put on top of it the same thing. That's good. Oh, thanks. Looking good, huh? Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's kind of coming together. It looks looking more like a flower. What I'm going to try now is going to try to add a bit of a gradient to it, similar to what I have going on down below with the previous one. So let's give that a shot. Pulling up. Let's see, what I need to do is, let's see, maybe if I right click, I'll get the option. Flatten is one, and outline stroke. And now I believe I can go ahead and choose radial. Yep. And if I make different colors here, now I'll start to get some interesting effects. Let's see. So let me go ahead and bring that out. And then I'm going to, what else am I going to do? I think I'm going to try, I was thinking before I just did this yellow gradient. I mean yellow to orange, kind of a golden look. I think I'm going to go more, excuse me, more chromatic, maybe a bit more of a rainbow effect. Let's see, so like this would go, see, like this could be green, and then this maybe could be blue. Possibly. Let's see how that works. Let's see. Or maybe it'd go to purple. Okay. And then I'm just going to try the same face. And I feel like the center needs maybe like a oval. Let's see, right about there. And I'm going to make this just straight white. Just getting a little bit more involved in that it's not perfectly centered. Maybe it should be perfectly centered. The other thing we could do is maybe keep that part centered, but move the eyes up. You know, what we could try maybe is keep the nose there, but move the eyes down like this maybe. Oops, that didn't seem to be working. Oh, right, because this is a symbol, and the symbols are a little looks like you're gonna have to detach this symbol in order to be able to do this. It's looking more like a bear to me. I don't know, what do you think? Maybe the eyes moving down is too much of a bear type feature. Let's see, does it? No, that looks more like a bear when its nose is really low. Alright, in any case, I'm going to select these all and group them and move it off. Let's see, there's these other groups also need to be included. And then we group those, and we'll just move them up, and that's one more option. I'm not too sure about these colors. Also, the background is going to be different. So, oops. Go ahead and select this though, and maybe work on this a little bit, just to make it make a little more sense. Maybe green doesn't work. Let's see. Maybe blue. Maybe this could be a warmer yellow. Maybe this one could go to like an orange. And then we could have that. There we go. All right. I don't know too much. I don't know what I think about these overlapping lines here. In fact, I'm kind of thinking I'd like to try it without any of this. That doesn't really work either. The contrast here is, the difference here is too strong. Oh, this could be brighter though. No. But you know, that's part of the process, is trying things and seeing what works, what doesn't. Try it maybe 80%. No. 60%. Maybe these are needed. Maybe these could be turned down. Don't know. But it's another thing to try. Another idea would be, let's see, a lot of different things I could do with this overall. Like just the gradient treatment. I could just, sometimes what I'll do is just create a bunch of copies and make each one different. So you just go ahead and go into each one and try different things here. Maybe you should try making the eyes a bit bigger. Yeah, that could work. Let's go back to the original. I don't know, it seems pretty similar in proportion to these, but... Oh, this one's bigger. Yeah. Especially the smaller sizes. Yeah, let's give that, I'll give that a shot. First of all, I'm going to finish what I was doing with changing the I was thinking is less. All right, give this one a shot. Let's see here. Let's go with. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that and just sort of I'm just working on trying to simplify it really. This could be more. And then maybe this one goes more toward the green. Or what if it goes back to the color in the center? Which would be if it does go there, it needs to go darker, I think. Anyway, none of these are as recognizable as the dog flower, but you know, it's still okay to try things. If I were trying to make it really, let's see, that's not working. I'm going to try going closer to the original dog flower. Let's see, if we go back here, these are pink on the ends. So this is pink on the end. Like that. And then it's going to be yellow in here. Let's see, like that, maybe. And then on the very inside, it is going to more of a white. So we could try that. Kind of like that. And we'll go ahead and, since this is sort of a lead one right now, I'm going to give a shot to making the eyes bigger. Oh, that was a good idea. Making the eyes bigger actually makes it a lot cuter. I wonder how high I can take that before it begins to go the other way. Makes me think of Baby Yoda as like that. His bigger eyes. Good suggestion there, Commander Ransom. I think these still need to be, oops, these need to be more toward the top. I think that this here might be better if it goes down a little smaller. Actually, I think we put it back on top of the guides now. Kind of does look like Baby Yoda. That would be a high compliment. Okay, so if it could only be achieved. Okay, so we are pretty close to the outer guide. It's a little shy of it, but the outer guide seems to be about right. Okay, so you know what? Now that I'm here, I think I don't want to lose the work I've done so far. So what I'm going to do is, actually I have this all grouped, so I might as well just grab the group. I'm going to copy that over here so I don't lose that progress. But I'm going to go ahead and start making some changes here based on what I've got going on in the background. I'm going to go ahead and just make the center much bigger. It kind of has more of the sense of a flower anyway. And then I think the question is, let's see. Well, in that case, these actually really, the eyes still do belong kind of there. Let's see. This thing does have a bit of a, well, its nose is actually at the bottom, so that's interesting. So we could try, instead of trying to keep it super centered, something more like this. What else could we do? We could also try bringing the forehead down. It doesn't seem like it has much of a forehead in the original. Let's see. I don't know. It's more maybe this. Bring this up a little bit. No, I kind of like it at the bottom. I think what it does need though is move up like that maybe. I don't know. Now it's not quite the same centering, the same I don't know. Just not sure about that. I don't know. It does seem a little more dog-like and less bear-like, but also looking a little bit like Sonic the Hedgehog, I think. All right, well that's I feel like it really does have to come back down. I know. I can keep the eyes and the nose there. There we go. Keep the eyes and the nose there, but I'm going to fix this to be there. And I'm going to bring this. No, not like that. I'm going to bring this up like this. I'll bring this in quite a bit. See how that looks compared to what I have over here. Well, it's progress. We're exploring different things. I wouldn't say it's done at all, but that's probably about as far as I'm going to get tonight. I think next time what I might try is I might take a crack at this one, or maybe this one, probably this one. Just making a more realistic or more visual treatment of it, or more sort of characterized cartoon of it. But yeah, so that's the process. Basically, you collect lots of reference material, and then I'm using the guides here, and I had some sketches and concepts, and I'm just doing lots of variations based on what I had. So I'd say we made some good progress. I put these up here. We made some progress tonight, trying different things, and hopefully we'll make more progress next time. So let's see. The next thing I was going to do. Oh, so really quick, I thought I would pull up. So this is the app that I'm working on. So it's very similar to the website, and so I pulled together these comps, and it gives you kind of a basic idea of how our app is going to work. But it's not gonna be quite exactly like this yet. What I'm gonna do now is sort of break off what I'm gonna design for the first phase. So really for the first phase, as I was saying before, all I'm gonna do is what loads here, the landing page, the trending page. So I'm gonna create my version of this. Essentially, this is the unauthenticated experience. So when somebody comes and downloads the app before they sign into their own account, I thought I'd have a little bit of the site available outside of the sign-in, which some sites do, because some people may not have created their account yet. So this is pretty close to the functionality I am going to do in just the first version, just having very simply a grid of images. Actually, no, I'm going to delete all of these and just make this really fill the space. That's about right. It's just like 1 pixel in between. I just want to make it a little closer to what I'm actually going to build. So because this is conceptually it, everything down here is sort of conceptually what I'm planning on doing, but is not quite to the pixel what I want to do. So if anyone saw the newer prototypes I did before, which I can actually pull up, I don't have Framer installed on this computer, so I can't show that. But really quick, I'm just going to go ahead and add in some images. Actually, I can do a bunch of them at once, I think. I'm just going to select, how many do I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just need to get that, choose open, and now I can just do them one at a time like that. So I'm going to pull in one to replace that one. I think I have too many portraits up there, so I'm going to pull in a couple more abstracts just to make this a little more even looking. But essentially this is the idea. If I hit I guess I have to move the starting screen up to here. So this is essentially it. And if I want it to slide, I forgot that in order to do that part, I'm going to need to make this page look taller. Let's see. So now if I scroll, that'll give us basically the scroll effect. And just need to fill out the rest of these. So this is essentially the process of creating an app, is figuring out what the screens look like in a design program, and then figuring out how to build it. And I'm trying to stage it. Basically, there's a lot of other functionality. Even on this first screen here, there's a lot of stuff. You can see I previously was talking about putting in this is kind of like a slideshow to tell you what the val prop, what the experience basically is. Looks like Artbreeder, that app. Yeah, that's the idea. Is that's what I'm trying to do, is design. The app I'm building is the native app for Artbreeder. This is going to be potentially the iOS app for Artbreeder. So let's see, I just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 more of these. So I'm just going to go into here and choose 1, 2, 3, 8. I think there are too many portraits in there, so I'm going to just swap out that one. Oh, we ended up with too many portraits again. This one is also very similar to the one we already have there, so I'm just gonna pick a few more abstract images. That's probably fine, just 2 more. Just gonna replace both of those. All right. So yeah, so now if we go into here, you can see this. The idea is that this would be the Artbreeder app. And I think I'm gonna give it a little bit of space on the top, which I can just do like this. So that's looking a little too much space. And I'm going to go ahead and make the background dark. So that's essentially it. So that's basically how I'm picturing this working. The one other thing is even getting a grid is going to be pretty challenging, because I know that the SwiftUI controls, the controls that come with SwiftUI, are not don't include a grid. I might be able to find one on a open source site of some kind, but just to give myself a couple of steps to get there, I'm going to go ahead and just make a version of this that is, let's see, that just has these, let's see, what I actually want, probably the fastest way to do this would be to make this a auto layout. There's a new feature called auto layout in here. Actually, I could probably do it right. No, I'm gonna go ahead and just add it here. There we go. So those are all in the same thing. And now there's gonna be an option over here where I choose auto layout. This one. I thought there was layout grid. That's not what I was thinking. It says layout grid, but that's not what I was. Maybe I don't have that update in this one, or I'm not sure. Well, I think what it's doing is that it has it's recognizing that it's a grid, and so maybe it's not going to give me that auto layout option quite what I'm imagining. So I'm just going to pull all these down here. This isn't really the way how it would lay out, but let's see how that. Just gonna. Actually, first, I guess I really need a lot more height. I'm not sure what's going on with this. I'm going to try ungrouping this. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. The idea here is that I'm going to go ahead and move this this over to this one. And so basically it's kind of just Instagram style, that you're just going to get image on top of image like that. So that's probably going to be my first step. If I can just get this working, that would be pretty good progress. And then once I get this working, I think the next step would be to get the get this other one working. So that's the idea. Ultimately, I'd like to get to here, but I'm going to give myself a halfway step of just getting this working. So that's that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the code. We have Xcode here. And I'm calling it, it's actually Artbreeder iOS Watch, because this is going to, it's a combination of the watch and the phone app. So let's see. So this is the app, the project I've started. It's very simple. I haven't really created anything in here. This just is going to say hello world. And then what I'm planning on doing today is working a bit through this this source code a little bit. I mean, work through this tutorial, getting this functionality. So basically, this is a tutorial for how to build a what's called the they call it the landmark app. This is a sample app that they walk you through, but a lot of what I need to do is covered here. So it's not exactly the same. I don't need the map and all that, but essentially the concept is the same. So I'm going to just go through following the steps, and I'm just going to be changing the names and the parts of the app as I go. So you can see there it is, hello world, and then all I need to do, let's see. So I have, this is my version, this is actually my data, so this isn't the same kind of data as what they have here. You can see this has different attributes. What I'm going to do is, going through their source code, I'm going to map it to this and add that code to mine. So basically they're saying start by looking at the sample data, and the sample data is, see if I'll make this a little bit bigger because that's probably too small to read on your screen. It's a little better. Okay, so basically this is the model that goes with this source code. Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, I am back. So what we're doing is going through this tutorial that basically explains how to set up this app in Swift, and the changes I'm going to make are just the things that are custom to my app. So instead of displaying a list of landmarks, their app is based on like geolocations. My app is just going to be a series of images. So my app is actually simpler than theirs. There's less to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just simplify it and rename things as I go through. So the first thing they're saying to do here is to, let's see, choose them all, landmark Swift. So I don't have landmark Swift because I'm creating this from scratch. So I need to make that. Let's see. Also, I should probably open up. I have this project downloaded, so I should go ahead and open the project. Open recent. Maybe I don't have it. I'm gonna go ahead and download it now, I guess. Project files. Well, it does not appear to have any information associated with it. All right, I'm gonna give that a try again. No. So this sort of thing happens. Sometimes documentation breaks. Somebody must have moved something at Apple. It says access denied. Oops. I can try refreshing the page. Maybe somebody just noticed that was happening and they might have just fixed it. And there we go. It's downloading. Let's see, so this basically is showing what they have in there. This is their data file that describes all the information that goes inside their landmark. And this is essentially a structure that the data gets loaded into. So that's so basically I need to create the same thing in my file. So here in resources, I'm going to go ahead. Wait, I don't think it goes in resources. I'm going to look at their file because I don't want to guess about how it's put together. I want to make sure I have it right. Come on. I'm going to say open downloads. There it is. Go ahead and open that. I'm going to just go to the complete version because I'm using it just for reference, so it makes more sense to use the complete file. Okay, so complete project, build listings, navigation. So we look in here. So they put their landmark.swift, the file that they were saying to look up, to compare this to, is in a folder called models. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for mine. And here I'm going to create, or in here actually I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to call it models. And inside there I'm going to create a new Swift file. We're going to choose Swift UI view file. We're going to name this save as, they call theirs landmark Swift. Double check that. Oops. There it is. They call theirs, shoot, I'm in the wrong file again. Where did it go? Stashed it down here, but now I can't find it. There we go. I actually wanted to make that go full screen. Theirs is called, landmark.swift. So we're just going to call ours artwork.swift. Artwork.swift. Go ahead and create that in the models folder. I may give this its own window, so it's an area, same thing here. Give that full screen view, make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it a little bit better. And let's see, it says, so this is basically a struct, hashable, codable. And let's look at the data really quick. The values are going to be key, image created at, creator name, and I'll just go with those three to begin with because I'm not going to support or display all these anyway. Maybe just as, actually I just need key to start really. So struct, landmark, hashable, codable. So I'm going to create over here, and it's going to be struct artwork. Instead of view, I'm going to make it hashable, codable. Hashable, codable. And then it's not going to contain a view, it's going to contain a key, and that key is going to be a string. So that's it so far. Now I think in order to be hashable and codable, we have to implement some of this stuff, but I'm not sure which. Let's see. Declares a landmark structure that stores all of the landmark information. I wonder if it just occurred to me I might be on the wrong channel right now for coding. I know that there was development on here before, but I forget. I wonder if I can change that while I'm live. I think I used to be able to. I'm just gonna keep going. I'll figure that out another time. Okay, so it says it needs to be invoked with artwork. Let's see. So let's see. Struct landmark var key is a name. I don't think I need all of that yet. Let's see. Extension. Extension landmark. Not sure if I need any more of this right now. Oh, I see what's wrong here. There shouldn't be a preview if I'm not inheriting from views, so I'm going to remove that. And maybe I should go ahead and support all of the values that are in it. That's probably a better idea. So I'm going to just do image created at, creator name, liked, and time string. So I'll say var created at equals also a string, or image created at and creator name. Image created at, creator name, creator name, and then we've got liked, which is a boolean, and then time string. Okay, so liked, I'm forgetting, maybe that's not how you create a boolean. Liked bool. Okay, that's how you do that. And then last of all, we're going to have time string. That is a string. I'm just going to keep the names consistent with what's in the file. And I think that's it. All right, let's see. So the location coordinate stuff we're not going to need because ours is not a location. And then categories, I don't think we have an equivalent for categories right now. Actually, there are categories for it, but I'm not getting past anything like that. So I'm just going to keep going. Let's see, in the project navigator, choose resources landmark. So that's the data file that we were just looking at. And here it's loading this data into the screen here. So I'm not that far. I have this Swift file, but this isn't being used anywhere. So I think I need to look through this source file and figure out how landmark is implemented. So we've got this data class. Not class. This is data.swift. What is it? Image store and func. So this is fairly similar to what I'm doing. I need to load stuff. This is close enough to what I'm doing that I think I should just probably copy it all. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm just going to I'm going to just copy this and then rename this. And copy all that. And I'm going to add a new one called data.swift. New file. Data.swift. How we're doing on time. So we're doing all right. Oh, hi, Catlin. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Welcome. We're just working on the app, the ARP Reader app. You can see I'm just writing some code, actually copying and pasting some code at the moment. I can back up a little bit and show you what you missed. Yeah, thanks for joining. This is actually some sample code I have for a tutorial I'm working through to implement this. And what we have going over here is the I've essentially made a simplified version of this prototype so you can see what I'm trying to build. So I'm basically trying to create something very simple. I'm just trying to load images right now. I'm just going to try to load them from my computer locally. I'm not trying to load them from the server yet. I have some source code that does load the stuff from can fetch the JSON from the server. That's how I have the right. I know I have the right format. But basically, if you look here, this is the more involved prototype that sort of covers all of the potential functionality in the app. But there's too much here. Like I don't know if you've heard the saying about how to eat an elephant, about one bite at a time. But this is way too overwhelming to build all this stuff. And so I'm just working on a minimized version of this part of the flow. So this is everything that happens before you sign in to this is a part of experience prior to signing in with your account. And even that is too much work. So because there's like the slideshow thing to implement, and then there's like the sign in buttons, all that, and there's some controls up here. And I want to just really scale this back to something I know I can achieve soon. So this is if I move this over here, this is the design I ultimately want to do. Wait, no. This is actually sort of like step 2. This is step 2. I want to have a grid where you can see sort of 2 images at a time, and you can scroll through it. But before I get to doing this, I thought I'd just do one more. It's all about baby steps. And the baby step I'm going to do before that is not even attempting to do the grid, to just simplify it even further. I'm just going to do this sort of like Instagram style, where it's just one image at a time, filling the whole screen. And who knows, maybe this will be a view that we might want to keep. later on. So that's one thing that can be good about experimenting like this. So this is what I'm trying to build, is this view here. And oh, also you missed that we did some more explorations of, for the icon, I'm working on variations of dog flower. Commander Ransom had the idea of suggesting we make the eyes bigger, so we did that. And we just have been trying some slightly different treatments of kind of giving it more of a snout, more of a face. So we're just trying different things. I don't feel like we're there with it yet, but I do like, I like the yellow with the pink tips a little bit more than what we had before, which was, I think, a little bit bland. I'm not sure if I like our sort of simplified flower petals more than this. It'd be interesting to know what you think. But yeah, we're making progress on this, and I feel good about it. So now what I'm doing, since we have the concept here, I'm trying to implement it in code. And I'm doing that by following along in a prototype. Following along with a tutorial that is doing something very similar to what I'm doing. So the first thing I need to do is update this to say artwork, because artwork's an actual thing. And we're not going to call this landmark data, we're going to call it artwork data. So I'm basically just going through it and renaming everything that doesn't match what I'm doing. So artwork data, artwork, and then what we're going to be loading is not landmark data, but artwork data. So that is a start. Let's see, everything else here. So it's going to load the file name into here, and it's going to try to load it. It's going to decode it using this JSON decoder. And then, let's see, I'm going to make this bigger. Maybe zoom this up so you guys can see my code a little bit better. Don't worry, you don't have to understand all this. I don't even understand. I don't understand all this. I'm sure even the person who wrote this doesn't necessarily have it all in their head at once, that you can just understand it little bites at a time as you go. And I'm just trying to make sure I understand enough of this that I'm not leaving a big mistake. So there's this load image function. So the one thing I know is going to be different is that the way that I pass it. Oh wait, I remember I'm not. I actually don't have one difference between this and mine is, in this case, it actually has a link to the JSON, or it has a link to the JPEG itself. These are the JPEGs here, and then the JSON has, let's see, actually this is pretty similar as the silver snip. So all I need to do is make sure that whatever I have as the key, because I'm going to be using key instead of the image name, the key just needs to match what I have for resources. So I think actually the next step then would be to get these images into the file. So that's what I'll do. Those can be done. Let's see, add files to ArtBreeder. Let's watch. Let's see. Copy items if needed. And I'm just going to go to my documents. And I'm looking for, where did I get these from? I'm looking in my documents folder for, let's see, ArtBreeder. ArtBreeder. Images. Let's see, under profile maybe. No. Notifications. Can't quite remember where I grabbed these from. Let's go ahead and open this and see where it's. Okay, so it's in downloads actually. All right. So I'm just gonna go over here into downloads. And I'm just trying to locate the files. Here they are. They're just sitting right here. Let me go ahead and just grab. Well, the thing I'm realizing though is that these actually need to be the names. Okay, well I can copy those and that'll be fine. So I'm just going to grab all the way down to about there and choose add. And there they are. They're just filling out right there like that. So that's good. And now what I want to do is I just want to copy these values. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it into the artwork. So I have to move this up here so it's a little bit easier to access. Okay, so the key I'm going to use is that. And change this to Subcreation because I know these are actually the ones I generated. Actually, I did like this because it was mine. This time string is going to be wrong, but that's okay. Just trying to make it generally match up. The date times will be wrong too, that's fine though. Let's see, I want to get this one in, so just have, there we go. So I now have two, and I can actually propagate this out and make a few more. Until I'm loading them, it's probably not that important that I have that many in here, but I'm just going to copy that one. Just going to copy a few more of those. I kind of want to have a bit of data here. And let's see, there's this one. Go ahead and copy that one. All right, so that's enough. I don't need to fill all of these out. But basically what I'm doing is making sure that all of the names of these files, files that are actually stored here are what are referenced here in the keys. And now I just need to make sure that wherever we call this to load this image, wherever we set this up, that I'm giving it key and not name, I think. Let's see. Couldn't load image name. Well, we pass that in. So when does load image get called? I'm not sure. So see, this is the object, and this is the data source. It's loading it here, so it loads the JSON. And so far, let's see, I'm gonna look in the source file and see if there are any more clues around how they set it up. So data is loaded here, and then let's see, the landmark list is here. So I think the first time that the image shows up is in the landmark row. And that would be landmark row, landmark image. So it's an H stack and it's referencing the image directly right here. Okay. So trying to remember why. So landmark image, is that just... See, this has image name, not just straight image. So I'm trying to figure out what that, where is this being turned into name? So we got landmark detail, we got landmark row. So let's see if we let's go back and look at landmark again. Is there one just called image? No, we've got image name. Oh, here it is, extension. So this is what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need a var. I'm gonna need an extension in my artwork here, and it's gonna be an extension on artwork. It's gonna be image, and it's gonna say image store shared image. Instead of image name, what we actually have is key. Because if you look at artwork data, the value that corresponds with our file name is the key. So that's interesting. That's progress. Let's see if there's anything else major I'm missing here. I think this is the only thing I'm using that is missing. But let's see what it does with it. It says image store, shared image name, image name. So image store must be like a core collection thing, or maybe a Swift UI thing. But it's some part of their libraries. And what's it getting put into? Shared images or image? Not sure, but I think we don't have any errors, so we may be good. I think I might be ready to go ahead into what is it? Into the, is it content view? Yeah, content view. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and build it and see if we get any errors. Choose resume. And if this works, I should probably go ahead and commit changes, which I think that happens by Command Alt C. And it's going to want me to explain. Basically, I'm going to say what I'm doing right now. Basically, is I have this is all built into there's source control, and I have it set up so this project is being versioned on GitHub, and I'm just doing a commit right now so I don't lose work. So I have a ability to get back to this stage. What I've basically done is added image files, and what else did I do? I added image files and models and data models. Okay, so that's pretty much what I did. Is I added data models. I added image files and data models. I think that's pretty much everything I did. So I'm going to say commit 17 files, and that means this is getting backed up now. And so what's going on here? I've got, you can see it's just showing. This is my view, and inside the view I have this text that says "Hello World," which is basically what they put into every project in the start. But what I want is, what I want to basically do is the equivalent of what's happening here in landmark list, which is showing my basically list. It's a view that is a list of things that are in your data object. So that's exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and even just copy this. Now this isn't going to look, it's not going to look like this yet, because if you look at this, actually I can even run this so you can see what I'm expecting to get. It's building, and we'll get a preview here in a second. Successfully built. Here we've got two previews, one of iPhone SE and one for iPhone XS. Come on. It takes a moment. Well, while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just start copying this into my own file. And this is messed up because I don't actually have landmark data. I'm going to have artwork data. Let's see, I'm also missing, let's see, landmark. I don't have landmark row, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to say, I'm probably going to end up removing this, but for now I'm just going to add that, match it. So, you know what, actually I don't need the navigation view yet. I'm going to go ahead and copy that out. And so I'm not going to need, well, the list I can keep. Artwork data, and then instead of landmark in, we're going to say artwork in, and then let's see, I don't need the navigation link yet. So I'm copying a lot, or I'm commenting a lot out. Content view does not conform to protocol view. That is a little surprising. Type content view does not conform to protocol view because I think it doesn't display anything yet. I'm going to go back here and take a look at inside landmark row is where they had this landmark image thing happening. And that's what I'm going to that's what I'll start with. Is this, and it's not it's the artwork. But the problem, I think one problem I'm having is consecutive statements on a line must be separated by semicolons. Undeclared type of artwork. Okay, so I think that's the main. I have more errors here than are probably, if they start piling up, some of them I think aren't meaningful. But I'm going to try to fix this one first because this is the one that, this to me makes sense. I don't believe I've created artwork data yet. So I need to figure out where do they create landmark data. Where does landmark data get created? So there's one in landmark row. No, that's not landmark data, that's landmark. Let's see, how does this work? We got landmark, launch storyboard, landmark.swift. I thought landmark data was defined here. We're good on time. It may not go all the way until 11 o'clock tonight. Let's see, app delegate, scene delegate, then we got landmark list, landmark data. I don't. So it would be in data. It's in data that it's defined. Okay, so why? So I have that. I have data here, but data must not actually be getting created. I have it, but I think it's not being referenced yet. So let's figure out where they reference it. Landmark list. So I have a scene delegate too, right? Scene delegate. And I have content view is where it's setting that up. Content view there, instead of content view, they set up landmark list. So this is where I would have thought that the data would get defined. But it doesn't. Landmark data. Here they pass it in, but that's, maybe it's in supporting views. No. Well, alright, I'm getting a little stumped. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe I'm too far ahead in the tutorial. Maybe I should go through this and figure out where they first reference this. So I may be too far. If you're getting stuck, you always want to maybe back up and figure out what's the one thing that you do know. And so in this case, they created a project from scratch like I did. That's what we're going through. They started out with a hello world like you saw I just did. So maybe I kind of jumped a little too far ahead. Let's see. Here they're running the preview, which we did, and you saw that we had the hello world. Customize the text view. So now they're just adjusting the text view, but that isn't really relevant to what I'm trying to do. I mean, I know I'd be fine if I was trying to do that. I'm trying to do something a little bit more complicated. here we go. So this is when they bring in the image, and let's see how they manage that. So they say find Turtle Rock PNG in the projects file. And so they're saying to just load that image. Okay, well that's simpler. So I'm gonna back up and just do this, because maybe I was a little bit ahead of myself with thinking I was going to just copy, that I was gonna get all of this working right now. I'm gonna just start with something really simple. Just gonna start with the simplest thing possible. Actually, I'm gonna go back to before this, because I think what I had then, oh, this is, I think, maybe this is what I removed that was a problem to remove. Yeah, that's what I removed that shouldn't have been removed. I need this. But in any case, I'm gonna take smaller baby steps forward and start with image, and then I'm going to copy. I'm gonna pick one I like better. I like this one. Oh, that's a little strange. This is PNG JPG. I'm gonna not use that one because it worries me a little bit that it's a little. Here, we'll do the dog. You take the dog one, and I'm gonna put it in there. And I think that should get me there. I think this should work. So let's see. Let's cross our fingers. We're gonna hit resume and see what happens. So it looks like nothing happened. Go ahead and play it just to be sure, but I think nothing happened. Content view, image, and then I passed it that. And I'm not getting an image. Nope, nothing. I'm getting nothing. All right, let's see what's wrong. So they said to start with let's see, they said start here with find the Turtle Rock PNG. So what might be wrong? These are JPEGs instead of PNGs, so that could be the issue. So maybe what I'll try is exporting a I'm going to attempt exporting a PNG so I'm sure of what I got. I'll go ahead and export this one here. Export, and it's a PNG, so that should be good. Choose export rectangle. I'm just gonna call this my artwork and choose save. And now I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna try to add files again. Let's see. I wonder. Copy items if needed. Choose add. Now I can see my artwork is right here. And I'm gonna give this. Oh, I'm in the wrong project. Okay, I'm getting confused. I need to concentrate. Okay, it's from here I need to do this. Sorry, this is my project. I'm gonna say add files to ArtBreeder, and inside downloads, there's my artwork. I'm gonna choose add. So there we go. Now we have my artwork. And I'm going to go ahead and just go here, and I'm going to try making this my artwork. Oh, actually it's lowercase a. My artwork. Let's give that a shot, see if that works. If that happens, then we know the problem is that I loaded a so that didn't work, which means that the problem does not have to do with loading with the types of images I'm loading. Although it's interesting, I do see there's an A next to that, and there's not an A next to those. So let me see what's. Oh, that I think this just has to do with the source control. Okay, so never mind that. I'm getting confused. Okay, so my artwork.png. Let's try my. I'm gonna just for like try adding the PNG and see what that does. Sometimes I just if something's not working, I'll just guess at the code. But that is not it. So that's not helping. So I wonder what could be the problem here. So when I look at this, it has images in here. Oh, and these are JPEGs. These are JPEGs. I thought it wanted PNGs. Let's see what he says here. The tutorial says PNG, and the but they actually have JPGs. So that's also strange. That's really strange. Because these work. They're here. Okay, add JSON. I don't know what's going on here. We go back here and look at what it says. It says, start by adding image to the projects. Find Turtle Rock in the projects files resources folder. Drag it to the assets catalog editor. Maybe is that the step I missed? What is it saying to do here? Find the Turtle Rock PNG in the project files. Maybe it's something about the way I imported the files, or let's see. I'm gonna also try. I'm gonna just try searching. Sometimes when you get stuck, a good thing to do is just to search and see what other people have encountered. So I'm gonna do Swift UI image resource appearing. See if what somebody else says. This is just the documentation. Image won't show on the view. So this is exactly what I'm seeing. Swift UI, image won't show on the view. So they say, I'm playing around with Swift UI and I'm stuck on this view. Everything is working fine, but this little bug is very frustrating. I'm trying to display the images as a vertical view and it won't show on the view. I know the images are loaded, but the view is not showing it. It's covered in blue color. Oh, I remember seeing this before. I had the same issue the first time I did it, but it was actually blue then, and I'm not seeing that. I'm gonna go back to this though. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try to see what is here. If I right click, if I try to right click, no. Okay, so let me go back to text. Text. So that works. For some reason, if I do image, put an image and paste that in. So it says image down here. I wonder what that means. Oops. Maybe I'll try adding. There's some other properties. So I'm running out of steam here, and I'm think I may call it a night pretty soon because this doesn't seem to be panning out. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing differently here. But like I said, this is, you know, par for the course when you're developing. You gotta just remember that things don't usually work the way you think they're gonna work. And you want to remain curious instead of interesting. When I drag it out here, it creates that. I'm going to try adding a different one, see if that does anything different. Nope. So I'm going to try deleting these all and see if I can add them in a different way. See what that does anything differently. Delete. Move to trash. So I don't want to do it this way because that's what I did last time. That didn't work. I'm going to choose Show in Finder. I'm going to try actually copying the files from their project into mine and see if there's anything different about the files. Because it's kind of what I mean about taking baby steps. You want to sort of step back and think like, okay, what is closer to what I know works? What has already been done? So if I go here, I get into resources. I'm just going to do one file. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to copy that into here. I'm going to try adding that file, I guess, right there. Choose add. I'm going to try changing it to this. And now I'm going to try resume and see if this works. Nope, that does not work either. That is really strange. Let's see. So, what is different here? Body, some view, image. Well, you know what? One thing that is different, I don't know. I don't see why it'd make a difference if it was here or somewhere else, but it's another location. But I mean, the one difference is that this one loads as a child view, but I don't see why that should work, and also why it wouldn't work. And besides, this is the exact, I mean, this is what it's saying to do here. So place the text with the image of Turtle Rock using the image initializer. I guess what I could do is download this start project and see what happens when you do that step. Down to the part where the image is added. So let's see what happens here. So starting from here, I don't quite follow where is this? Assets X cassette. Maybe that's where I'm getting lost here. It says find Turtle Rock in the project files. Drag it into the asset catalogs editor. So this is a step I seem to have missed. Asset catalog editor. There we go, assets catalog editor. Okay, so Turtle Rock is here. So maybe it'll work if it's here. Maybe that's what I'm missing, is that things have to be in this file in order to work. So if that's the case, then when I go to when I go back to here and look at what I basically need to do is drag this to here, and then I'd be good. Okay, that's the step I missed. That's got to be it. So now if I go to here and I hit resume, we're going to see the image. I'm almost sure of it. Almost, not 100%, but you know. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I can delete this now. Go to trash, and I can go into this. I don't need that there. What I'm going to do is again load those other files I had before. Add files to Artbreeder. I'm going to go to downloads. I'm going to grab all these down like there. Choose add. And now what I can do is I can just take all of these. I'm going to move them down below. JSON file. I'm going to open up the assets. And now if I drag this, oh wait, how do I do this? I have to open this. Do I have to drag them in individually? How does this work? I guess I have to drag them in one at a time. Yeah, there's no way to grab all of those without losing this view, so I guess I drag them one at a time. Alright, I don't want to have to necessarily do this multiple times, so I'll just go ahead and finish that right now. Even though ultimately these won't even be the ones that we load, we're going to load them off of the website. Okay. Alright, so that's that, and I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to change this from Chinook Trail to this. Go ahead and get the one I want, which is this one. Actually, I thought that was a little weird because it's. There we go, we'll use this one. Alright. I'm going to hit resume, and if the dog appears right there, I would say that's as much as we could hope for. Oh, thanks, Catman. Yeah, if the dog appears, I'd say that's as much as we could hope for, and it did not. Did I miss that one? Maybe I just happened to miss that one. There we go, the dog. Gonna make sure 5C. So that's watch kit app. Maybe I have the wrong one. Oh, this is the one. I see. All right. So again, I gotta drag each one into this over here. I just have to get them all. I dragged it. But the mistake I made was I dragged it into the watch kit version of this app. So there are multiple parts to this project, and I just grabbed the wrong one. Come on, almost there. Just about done. I probably should have just used a smaller set for now, since I'm not even going to get these all working right now, but there we go. So now, okay, this time the dog's going to appear, and then I think we're going to call it a night. Really, this is actually going to happen this time. There it is. Okay, so it's a start. You know, you can see we're trying to get to here. We'd like to be, you know, this is what we'd like to see is this. And so far we've got this. So it's a start. Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope it was hope you learned something or had fun. And I'll see you on the next stream. So good night.